Now, I'm pretty sure people have, watched videos out there and people talking about how disappointing the PlayStation Showcase was. But today I wanted to go over in a different perspective on why Sony is bad at marketing, on why the showcase was a bad representation of their brand, and how they can improve the future of the presentations. There are three major things that made this, showcase really bad. First, it was a lack of gameplay and release dates, right? We saw some new games here and there, but mostly CGI stuff, no gameplay, no release date. Second, was the amount of indie games that they showed on this event, and the most important was the lack of first-party games besides Spider-Man, which was really good at showing, but it still doesn't justify the rest of the showcase. So now I'm going to use Nintendo for an example here, because Nintendo gets criticized for being the little kid on the block versus a three, right? But in reality, they are doing their own thing and they are doing it great. Nintendo knows how to market their products, like it or not. You could disagree or agree, but the fact is they know how to market. We see it time and time again. Almost all their AA, high-end, or AAA titles that are first party, they are like 10 million sellers or 1 million sellers or whatever the case. So they're always successful. We saw the Mario movie and Tears of the Kingdom now recently being so successful as well. When it comes to their big own directs though, they know how to present their games. Every time we see a direct, every time we see a Nintendo Direct, they always announced a decent amount of first-party games, plus those third-party games, right? You have your trailers, and for the most part, you have some gameplay as well, and also some release dates. But what's interesting here is that they have a separate Direct called Indie World, where it focuses only on indie titles, right? PlayStation should take notes on this, on how to do their presentations. The indie games they showed on the showcase actually hurt the presentation, to be honest, because I don't think people were looking forward to that. People were mostly focused on seeing those big AA titles, big AAA titles, right? So these small indie games just went over their head, and in my opinion, I think it hurts the indie developers, because you're not really helping marketing the game, because it's just going over people's head for the majority of them, right? So if they have like a separate, state of play or state of play for only indie games, at least people will know what to expect, and they'll focus more on the core of the indie games instead of adding a lot of indie games on your big, showcase. It actually hurts it. But we all know why this showcase for the majority of people was just a huge letdown. Of course, there's people that out there that enjoyed it, but the majority, even from hardcore PlayStation fans, thought the showcase was just not good, right? For me, I didn't go in super excited like many others. I didn't have high expectations, but I was excited for what they might show because of the hype that people were giving it. Because for me, I haven't really used my PS5 much this year. It's been really dry so far. Starting with the year, we had an exclusive which was a huge flop, and that was Forspoken, right? The next exclusive we have is Final Fantasy 16, which I'm super excited for. But between Forspoken and now, Final Fantasy 16, which Forspoken came out in the beginning of the year, there's a big gap of exclusives on PS5. So in that big gap, there was nothing to play, and we weren't getting anything exclusives or first-party games from Sony. And after Final Fantasy 16, the other big first-party game will be Spider-Man 2, and again, it will have another big gap of we don't know when, and actually we don't even know when Spider-Man 2 is actually coming out. It didn't even give you a release date. If these AAA titles are taking too long to make, I think they should make at least like AA first-party exclusives to fill those big gaps in between on releasing those big, AAA games. For me, I wasn't really affected by it because, Nintendo has been keeping my attention with their first-party titles. They've been putting out content since the beginning of this year, and now with Tears of the Kingdom, it has my full attention. So going to the showcase, just like many others, I was expecting a huge blowout, because this feels like, the PS5's main year to go all out, because ever since the PS5 launched, it was having troubles with shortages. The COVID era was hitting them, so I wanted to see what they would put out, and it was really underwhelming, because remember, the last showcase was about 2 years ago, so a lot of people had high expectations from this, right? And I'm just like, wait, how can this showcase feel worse than this Nintendo Direct that we had a couple months ago, when the Switch, you know, it's at its last year. I mean, we're about to go 7 years on it, and PS5 is just picking up steam, and they just fumbled that steam with this showcase, you know? Going forward, they need to change the way they present and market their presentations. I hope they listen to the fans, you know, get feedback from the showcase. There's still plenty of announcements coming. I mean, we have the Summer Game Fest, and we also have, you know, Xbox Direct soon to look forward to. So we'll see what they show there. But in terms of PS5 first party exclusives, it was really disappointing. And so far, there's not going to be anything other than Spider-Man, right? But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like the video. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.